Kia ora, James and Laura. So good to have you with us today to share your story about Dunedin Solar with the Dunedin Store participants.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. And first of all, huge congratulations on the award for the Green Business South Awards. Let me get the name right. Finalist in a category, but you also took out what most would consider the most prestigious award. Not the Grand Award, but the People's Choice Award.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was, such a shock, wasn't it? We were not expecting that at all.
No, not us considering sort of the other businesses that are involved, but
It's a huge congratulations to you for your brand presence and the awareness of who you are, but also how important organisations like yours are to the future of the city, the country, the world, and sustainability as a precursor, isn't it? I think first off, both of you, or one of you perhaps on behalf of the other, first time with two in the room, tell us who you are and what Dunedin Solar is, and maybe a little bit about the Dunedin story for you.
So James and Laura, all started off when we first arrived in New Zealand. Actually, it was quite a unique story that when we landed in New Zealand as backpackers, we went to stay with friends over in Wanaka. At that time, Dean of Wanaka Solar had just started Wanaka Solar. We were staying with them and just seeing how he was slowly growing that business was interesting. Then we disappeared to the West Coast, lived there for 8-9 months, loved it, realised we wanted to stay in Dunedin, well, in New Zealand to begin with. And then, it all sort of grew from there, having to get a proper job, had to get my qualifications changed over to become an electrician. So there was an electrical job in Dunedin. So I applied for that and got it. And then it was there for 5 years. At first, we didn't even want to come to Dunedin, didn't know much about it. We drove through on a quick ticky tour, and then once we settled here, we started to love it more and more. There's just so much to explore and find. Still remember a day we went out towards Purukanui. We went round to Mapatahi, and we didn't even know it existed, and did that walk there, which you can go over towards Doctor's Point and stuff, and we was like, this is just phenomenal place to live.
I think there's people in Dunedin that are born and bred here who probably haven't done the same walk yet. So thank you for mentioning that.
It's just hidden beaches, and you're just up and down over the cliffs, and it was fantastic. But and then worked at a previous employers for 5 years. It's always been a means of sort of conversation with Dean that one day let's do Dunedin Solar, and it just came to that point. The previous place I was working at didn't seem to be too keen at the time on starting solar, so we reached out to Dean, and it was just the right time for both parties, and away we went.
Tell us what time we're talking about, because I think it might have been a really tricky time in the world, wasn't it?
So it was just after the first lockdown of COVID, really.
We should start a business.
It's a great idea. Great time to do it. I suppose it's because we had so much time twiddling my thumbs. It was sparks start to happen in the mind, and away we went.
Starting a business at the most trickiest time, then you've faced the heaviest headwinds, and it's only forward from there, isn't it? A little bit.
Everything gets easier, which you didn't, but
So we're 2 years into having Dunedin Solar, and as I said, you've taken out an award, which is pretty awesome to have such a short time to have that recognition. What's sort of the next plan for Dunedin Solar? What does 2024 look like for you guys?
Hopefully a bit more growth, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've worked really hard at establishing our name in Dunedin. Like, solar is a relatively new concept. Not many people are aware of what it is, what it does, what benefits it has. So we've worked quite hard on trying to penetrate the market, I guess, and get people thinking about what's involved in installing solar. So next, what we want to do is just continue to grow and educate more people along the way, and help people understand the benefits of solar, I guess, is our main aim.
So let's ask that question. What is solar? Fundamentally.
So we don't do solar hot water. That's a complete separate thing, because we're electricians of trade. So it's the PV side of things. So solar panels go on your roof, light hits them, that generates electricity. which then you use around the house. Yeah. Like, for example, do you pay a power bill?
Yes. A very large one, or 3.
Yeah. Why?
Regularly. Yeah, very good question. I think we might have a longer discussion after this.
Yeah. So it's basically as power's going up in price, which it tends to do very rarely, or if it ever comes down. It's a way to mitigate that cost. You're protecting yourself against high power increases. If you're including a battery and stuff in that as well, you're also then protecting yourself against any power outages or any major disasters that might happen. You've still got power to run your everyday life. Because we don't like to think of it this way, but we do rely on electricity
for everything.
For everything,
100%. Our power was taken out for the day on our street yesterday. 16-year-old daughter managed to find some cell reception down the road because obviously Wi-Fi wasn't working. And she's like, what am I going to do? Well, there is other things you could do, but their lives, teenagers in particular, they're just all online. You know, there's no TV, there's no mobile phones, there's no computers. And what do we do? The big I moment. So what about the process towards people undertaking a solar project? What do they need to be considering?
The main things that we consider when we design systems for them is James goes around, he does a site survey, he has a good discussion with them about what they're wanting to achieve out of their solar, because we have a wide variety of customers. They either want to do it to reduce their power bills, or they want to do it to be more sustainable, they want to reduce their impact on the environment. Like, different people have different reasons for wanting to install solar. So for us, it's really important to understand what they want out of it, depending on what design we put together for them. Also, we need to get a good understanding of what their consumption is, because that then impacts the size of the system that we put together, because we don't want to oversize it or undersize it, because then they get the thoughts that solar doesn't work, because that's just not true, because it definitely does.
Dispelling those myths is important, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, because there's so many misconceptions out there about solar. So that's where James comes in at the site survey, and he unloads all his knowledge onto everybody that he meets.
I like that. The husband and wife team, and James needs to take care of this, and there's a role for yourself. What about, fundamentally, I think most people's driver would be the cost consideration, because you're like, electricity is just going up and up and up. There is no going back, is there? Average house, Dunedin, 3-bedroom bungalow, what would be the average cost for somebody to install that?
You're looking at 16 to 20,000, and so 24 would be your higher end. Some people have phenomenal bills where then you're looking northward of that even. But then that return of investment, you're looking at around sitting sort of 7 to 12 years, depending on what you've got included with that system. So you add in a battery in, that return of investment takes a little bit longer. If you don't have a battery, you can recover that cost a lot quicker. And it's also about the homeowner themselves. The more of that power you can use, the better that return of investment is going to be, and it's going to happen a lot quicker. But a sort of a 10-year return of investment on a system that's going to last 25 years and onwards is pretty, it's better than money in the bank at the moment.
And is there a concern about, there is also a misconception or a myth that Dunedin doesn't see the sun, which isn't true. Is there a difference between Dunedin's ability to provide a solar ability for this, or?
Yeah, so with Dunedin itself, not as good as if you're in Nelson, better than if you're in Auckland. So it's a mixed bag, but as a location, it does really well with solar. Awesome.
We have quite a few customers. Like, we've got a guy, we put it in for him a couple of months ago, and he emails me, I had no power bill this week. It's gone down to $60 this month. Like, it's so good. Like, people are always contacting us being like, we only had a power bill of $4. Like, it's just amazing. Like, it really does have a huge impact on people's lives, and then it gives them their disposable income back, which they can spend on other things.
But yes, certainly being an outsider, coming from a country where it is actually rainy all the time and it is actually grey all the time, Dunedin seems to have this representation that it is sort of bad weather. But when it rains, it does rain a lot, but it doesn't rain that often.
No,
Yeah, you
it's
think
one of
it's
the
bad
driest.
weather in if you think Dunedin's got bad weather, you should try living up the northwest of England for a bit and and come back. Yeah.
Well, entirely perfect segue.
Yeah.
You are Dunedin Solar, but you're not from Dunedin. So a little bit of backstory. Where did you come from and why did you come to Dunedin as a location, I suppose? I mean, you've mentioned the outside, but where are you from?
So I'm from the Cheshire, which is northwest of England. Closest city anybody really knows of is Liverpool, Manchester, that sort of way.
We know the football team, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody knows of the football teams of the northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And born and bred both there?
No.
No, I'm from Coventry, which is Midlands, England. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And you moved to Dunedin. Did you have a connection otherwise? Any family or friends or anything? It was purely this Wanaka business opportunity that moved you here?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, we were living down in McAndrew Bay for a little while and we worked towards our residency, which we've now got. And we thought, well, this is where we want to be. Now we've got 2 little girls and our own house and dog
And your own business, winning awards.
and
That's great.
we're super happy here.
Nice. And do you think Dunedin has a particular offering to you that has enabled your business to succeed, being from outside? There could be another myth again that, you can only really succeed in business if you're from Dunedin. What is it about Dunedin that helps you, do you think?
There's definitely a lot of opportunity, especially coming from England, where if you set up a business in England, more than likely there's another 10 businesses doing the same thing on the same road. So there was a lot of opportunity here, especially in solar. Nobody was really, there were people who do solar, but there was no one really concentrating just on solar. You had your sort of your national companies, but there wasn't really a Dunedin-based company, which is what we saw that hole in the market for. But yeah, it's and also being part of the trade. The tradies are hard to get hold of in New Zealand, especially in Dunedin. It's getting better, but it really opens up that market, which was sort of what drew us to starting Dunedin Solar up. Yeah.
Awesome. Any specific support organisations or people that need a shout out perhaps to the rest of the community to say thanks for all of your support and guidance that you've had in growing your business?
Yeah, well, the usual marketing pushes, like for the ODT, for example, we work with them quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got just in not so much for Dunedin, but the likes of Wanaka and Queenstown Solar, they really helped us out. They still do. We're a very close knit sort of group. Which is pretty good.
And there's the likes of obviously Business South and the awards and the networking that they put on, and the BA5s, which allows you to get involved in that business community. Because obviously not being from Dunedin, we don't know a whole heap of people. We've got our friend groups who is brilliant, but trying to infiltrate into the business side of things, it was a little bit tricky at the start, but now we're finding our feet, aren't we? And with the help of Business South, it really does help.
That's awesome. Shout out to Business South.
Yeah.
Agree. So thinking about your industry, the solar industry, and it has been quite a rapidly evolving one, hasn't it really? What is there innovation and change happening that people need to be aware of that you want to share?
Probably since we started, there's been changes. At the moment, it's booming. The amount of money and research development that's gone into the industry is crazy. Not massive changes in the likes of the bigger items like the inverter and the battery. The battery, there's a lot of innovation, but getting it right. There's a lot of really good technology, but it's also getting that good price point for that technology. And the same with solar panels. But solar, the main thing, they're producing a little bit more, but the costs are sort of are pretty, they're pretty stable at the moment, where batteries fluctuate a bit more.
So you always have an expectation that things get smaller and faster, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's probably going to happen, but will take time to shape that.
Yeah. And especially the technology side of solar has really changed. So you can, on a sunny day, you can see exactly how much you're producing. So you can make decisions of I'm absolutely cranking. I'm not even going to bother putting the washing out. I'll just throw it in the dryer because I need to use some electricity.
Because I can.
Yeah.
So that you're giving control back to the consumers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. A little bit of light-hearted questions around Dunedin. Being newbies, it's always fascinating to hear what the answers are to these. So let's say you're bringing one of your family out from Britain to come and visit. They've obviously never been here before. Where are you going to take them for lunch? Where's your favourite lunch spot that you've discovered in Dunedin?
The Ark.
Yeah, Ark.
Yeah.
Art Brewing. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's definitely our favourite place to be. Like Jono, the owner, he's amazing, isn't he? And just like the way that they have it all organised with the different food trucks coming in each day, and you never know what you're going to get. It's great out there.
Yeah. Okay, you've had a great feed. There's been an awesome food truck there, and you're now going to take that visitor to somewhere that you think speaks directly to what Dunedin has to offer. Where are you going to take them to explore?
We used to be season ticket holders for the Highlanders until we had kids, and now they're too young eventually, so we'll get them back.
You probably make half a game. I have very vivid memories of being available for half a game and then you have to go home. So perhaps not the Highlanders this time.
Yeah,
but...
I'd rather sit at home and watch them to make sure I get the full game in.
I think it's got to be the beaches. We love it. Like when we used to live out in McKendree Bay, we used to go over to Allen's Beach all the time. You've got all the sea lions on there and you can see them frolicking around in the ocean and stuff. It's pretty amazing. There's not many places in the world where you get to see wildlife like right in front of your face.
I agree. And that's a very common answer to that question. So you've gone exploring, you've got a babysitter, there's no kids with you tonight, you've got your friend here. Where are you taking them for dinner?
Oh, there's a few good restaurants. I like Plato's, real nice. We're very fish orientated.
Yeah.
We've tried.
Carey's Bay as well. Carey's Bay's real nice. The little hotel down there.
Awesome.
Or try and get them over in November so we can go to the Beer Fest.
Go to the Beer Fest. Yeah. Both nights or just one?
Oh, depends how excited the babysitter is after.
Well, and if you like food trucks, you've got the full collection of them at the Beer Fest, haven't you? Now, you are recent, but so, events and things, you may not be familiar with exactly what's on offer most years in Dunedin, but has there been an event recently that you've attended and you've thought, that is staying in the calendar, we're going to be going to that every year, outside of the Beer Fest? We'll put that to the side, because totally. Anything else that you've been to that you think, Dunedin does that really well?
The Brighton Gala Day is always a good family day out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always lots going on there, isn't there? Especially for the little ones.
Yeah. You're right. Brighton's such a unique place for people to visit and great sunshine.
Yeah.
Having lived there, I know how different the climate is and perfect for solar. So let's hope you get a few more installation requests from out in Brighton.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had the power to change something, solar, if you had the ability to change something about Dunedin, though, that you think would improve the life of those that live here or visit, what would that be?
I think it might be a bit of a controversial subject, but it's got to be the waterfront, right? Like, it's an amazing asset to the city, and there's so many places around the world that would utilise that area so much, and it's just, it's a missed opportunity. Yeah, it could be so amazing down there with all little boutique shops and restaurants and cafes, beautiful view. Yeah.
Familiar with the vision that was put together a few years back. Yeah.
I couldn't mention any city that I've been to in the world that hasn't got a waterfront that they've taken massive advantage of.
Yeah, no, I agree. We just need a couple of billionaires to decide they want to live here and not tell anybody else and invest in that waterfront, don't we? So, okay, we'll add that to the list and see if we can get some movement around there. Well, I think you're an inspiration, starting a business just after lockdown 1, having the grit and determination to build it, to go and network, to use the services that are on offer, to take out a prize that, you've been awarded that by the community. Big congratulations. Thanks for joining us today.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.